So I guess, something that we could talk about here, and I'm really interested in everyone's thoughts, but tapping into Robyn's expertise, if you're an administrator out there and you really do care about your physician staff, what kinds of things may be helpful or supportive for your physician staff? Any thoughts on that? Not just, obviously, Robyn, I'm directing the question to you initially, but I'd like everybody to chime in because you're all physicians. What would have helped?
I think day one, when we're sitting in orientation, first of all, not having anyone say half of you will be divorced, forget about doing anything fun, starting with that negative, demoralizing kind of language, that has to go. So I sat on a panel at a very reputable medical school. I'm not even going to say what it was, just out of respect. And then we broke out into, it was on Zoom, so we broke out into those breakout rooms. And my topic was burnout. And I had about a dozen medical students choose my breakout room. And they were like this. I could barely see them. They weren't looking up at me. They're hunched over. And this was just a few months into their very first year of medical school. And it took me about an hour. I was only supposed to have 30 minutes with them, but it took about an hour. And we did coaching. We worked on, what's going on? What's your brain telling you? And so many of them said they couldn't stop thinking about what they were told the first day of orientation. And that has been with them for several months. So this was, I guess, maybe November, and they started in August. They just couldn't stop thinking about they're not going to make it. It's going to be them that's not going to make it. They're not smart enough to be there. It was a mistake. They had imposter syndrome. Everyone else here is smarter than me, right? And so I just, I couldn't believe how many of them were affected, but it makes sense from that same language that one administrator said on the very first day of orientation. So we need to start there.
Absolutely. You just gave me goosebumps with that comment. And as that was mentioned earlier in our conversation, the thing that popped into my head was a recent interview that Randy had with a wonderful physician, Dr. John Chuck, who had an absolutely different occurrence on the first day of his medical school experience. He had someone, I forget the gentleman's name, the physician's name, that there was their instructor. He said, "I'm just going to let you know now, you're all going to make it." And he said it made a difference right then and there. It set a positive path, and they all felt not only supportive, but very capable of being able to do the work that was set before them. So it really is important how we speak and the language that we choose. Robyn, I think it's a really good point that you make.
Yeah.
Other thoughts?
Yeah. By the way, Deb, I want you to know your dog is welcome. We have multiple dog windows here. Usually Randy and Dez's dog's named Havoc. So what does that tell you? So don't worry about. I love seeing your dog in the background. That made me.
Mine is right at my feet, and he'll probably be in the frame any moment. So
anyway,
I really don't have a choice.
Welcome to the lounge.
Yeah. The occasional cat will walk across the keyboard around here too.
Yeah. So. I just wanted you to know that. So
thank you. He does a lot for my well-being. Actually, he keeps me in the present. I really can't do anything about it. He's a puppy, and I just pray that I can get through a meeting.
You just said something, Deb, that's such an important statement. And I heard Robyn mention it too. It's being in the moment. I think one of the things to managing all of this is, you can't undo the past, can't control the future, which is a stress point for many people. You can only be in the moment. So you have to be there. And I find the same thing with my dog. You could be having a rough few minutes and all of a sudden it all goes away. You just look in those little eyes and you just, all of a sudden your focus has to be to take them out for a walk or something, or just anyway. But at that point is, I think that's such an important message. Be in the moment. And it's not easy to do at times, many times, but I think that's one of the secrets to, just kind of having a really a productive and fulfilling life. Don't overlook a lot of things. Don't, it's life. The little things that happen, the things that annoy us, the things that make us happy. Try and embrace it all. I think that's so important.
It's interesting what Robyn said. One moment of positivity, one moment right at the beginning sets the tone.
Thank you so much for joining us for this discussion today. If you'd like to learn more about our guest, head on over to our Patreon page where you can access exclusive content, including the full segment of our show. Never want to miss an Inside the Doctor's Lounge clip? Be sure to click the subscribe button to our MD Coaches YouTube channel. As always, we appreciate suggestions for future show topics. Let us know what you're thinking in the comments below. And finally, special thanks to the talented Ryan Jones, who created and performs our theme music for the show.